Here we are at the exciting campground in America.
Trying to figure out how to lock it. Here's Tom's car. He bought a new Lincoln. You have to pull up on the door. Lift the door up. Take a picture of the cockroach. And inside of the dorm. We should breakfast. Kill it. We'll eat it for breakfast. Oh my God, where's the door handle? Up, idiot.
See if I can do this one. Is there enough light in there?
Uh-oh. There's an alligator. Oh, it's a rock.
That's pretty cool.
Well, a picture of you.
But don't take a picture with your camera. You get it?
June to September.
Do your left foot.
Babies too.
What?
For babies. Should be all up in that slough back up in there. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. What you doing, Annie? What I'm fixing to do, you get to see me do it. My boat man was on a cruise of it.
Keep some deer here.
Yep. Come on, girl. Come on, Annie. Come on. Come on, girl. Come on up here and say hello. Come on. Get on up here. Come on. Get on up here. Come on. Now, wait. See how your babies up in here. You taking care of your babies, huh? Are you taking care of your babies? Tell me. Are you taking care of your babies? Huh? Yeah. You ain't gonna get any closer than that to a wild gator.
That's awesome.
She's got gators in here at 3 years old, 2 years old,
Oh, really?
1 year old, and this year's back. Them about that long as this year's back. Like that one there, that one coming there. Some of them in there, she's 2 or 3 feet long.
How long do they stay with her before they?
Generally, after about a year, she runs them off. But she's been keeping some of these around in here for 2 or 3 years. You're a good gator, ain't you, Annie?
How old is she?
She's about 35 years old.
Yeah.
The gator lives to be about 70, 75 years old. Her mate's 14 and a half feet long.
Jeez.
He's a big dude.
Where's he at?
She keeps him running off. About 6 foot long. She ain't very friendly.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. We look like Highland people. Yeah, it's really the only way to see it, I think.
Did you get him shitting?
No. You scream, make him fly away. Rah! Rah! Everglades.
Maybe this is the Everglades.
Right now I'm standing in water that's around knee deep.
This is flying.
See? From our balcony in Daytona. That's the boardwalk. The tower. I'm a little bit unstable. There it is. It's pretty far. It's a couple miles. But this camera can zoom right in on it. There's Paul thinking he's really funny. There's Ted being a bum watching TV and drinking water or something. It's not alcohol. Loser. Here's the balcony. There's the ocean. Can't see it, it's too dark. People. That's where we were a little bit ago. Gotta get Paul in bed so we can edit that scene in later to send to his parents. Loser. Look at how far up the water is. Ted. Okay. There's Paul, like a moron.
We're getting in there.
I'll take a picture of it.
Entering turn 3. The speed record here at Daytona is held by NASCAR's Bill Elliott and was set during one lap of qualifying. He completed that lap in a little over 42 seconds. One lap around the Speedway covers exactly 2.5 miles, which means his car was tooling along at a leisurely 210 miles per hour. You're now traveling along the bottom of turn 3. There are 31 degrees of banking in the middle at the point where you can see the lettering on the wall. From here, you can begin to appreciate just how steep 31 degrees of banking is. At any speed below 95 miles an hour, gravity begins to pull on the driver and equipment, trying to pull them down toward the apron. From the white apron line near your tram's wheels to the second white line is 30 feet. Between these lines, and sometimes even to the 10-foot line at the top, the driver will find his racing groove. that part of the Speedway where he feels he can handle these turns the fastest, according to the setup of his race car and his driving abilities. The NASCAR drivers will frequently come through these high bank turns 3 wide at an average speed of more than 190 miles an hour. Most of us will never know what it feels like to drive through these curves at those kinds of speeds, but 1996 Daytona 500 champion Dale Jarrett knows. Dale, how did it feel to be coming around turns 3 and 4 trying to win that race with Dale Earnhardt right in your bumper?
I had to drive with one eye on the racetrack and one in the mirror because I had the toughest competitor out here trying to pass me and trying to win. This tense part because you want to get to me and you realize it's a long day and you don't want to get yourself in a position that could cause trouble, and it's a tight racetrack. Even though it's 2.5 miles, the corners are very tight, and you just want to be careful at the first, and you don't want to fall back too far because it can be difficult going back to the front. But I think just trying to stay out of trouble the first part of the race is key.
To drive through these corners at 190 miles per hour, you better have a lot of confidence in your car. Dale Jarrett says the team members who prepare his Daytona 500 winning machine deserve a great deal of credit. From here, you can begin to appreciate the enormity of the grandstands. The upper tower opened in 1988 and was expanded. There are 8 different sections of reserved grandstand seating to the left and right of the tower. Straight ahead, you can see the official start-finish line. This area looks flat on TV, but as you can see, the trioval is actually banked 18 degrees. Straight up from the start-finish line is the starter stand, where the official flagman is stationed throughout the race. He has direct communication from there with the control tower. As you near the start-finish line, let's listen to the last exciting moments of the Daytona 500.
Holly Dallenbach about to pick up one position. Here they come down the line. White flag, 2.5 miles to settle the Daytona 500. It's Jarrett by half a car length, Earnhardt and Schrader. Who's going to help whom down in turn 1? Let's find out.
After 18 years of trying, can Earnhardt make it work? For now, Jarrett's got control. He leads him for the last time through turn 1. Into turn number 2, Earnhardt so far right into behind the back deck. Not stepping out of line, but now Earnhardt drops down below 2. A fake and a drive from Earnhardt. He still has the lead in turn 3. Dale Jarrett on the defensive, tucks it down to the inside of the racetrack. Everybody's shuffling to the inside, to the outside, but there's no lead. Dale Jarrett.
A wild last lap that Dale Jarrett puts every block he knows on to hold off Dale Earnhardt for a win in the Daytona 500. Enter the infield road course. This adds over a mile to the length of the circuit for a total distance of 3.56 miles. You're now entering pit road. That orange ball you just passed marks the pit road exit. There's another one just like it on the other end, 1,600 feet away. NASCAR drivers are restricted to 65 miles per hour while on pit road. On your right is the place every driver wants to be, but where only one can be at the end of the race. Victory Lane. On TV, it looks fairly large, but as you can see, it's really not that big a space. It is big enough, however, to hold one car. For a lot of NASCAR Winston Cup drivers, making it to Victory Lane would be the achievement of a lifetime. But for one driver, Victory Lane became almost a second home. Of course, I'm referring to Richard Petty, who has 200 Winston Cup victories to his name, including 7 wins in the Daytona 500. Recently, I had the pleasure of talking with this living legend about his historic 200th win, recorded here at Daytona on July 4th, 1984, with the President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, in attendance. I asked Richard what thoughts were running through his head as he pulled into Daytona's Victory Lane after winning that 200th event.
It was a big deal because it was a 200th win, but then the President of the United States was there. You know, all of that stuff, the race was won on the last lap.
What's it like from the driver's point of view? That's what I recently asked 1995 NASCAR Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon.
They have marks that they want that car to...
4 sets of double-sided enclosed garages and 3 sets of open garages with space to work on 164 race vehicles. But between the garage and the starting line, there's still one stop NASCAR drivers have to make. NASCAR's Tech Inspection Station. Inside this open bay to your right is where NASCAR officials make sure that every inch of every stock car conforms to NASCAR's strict regulations. At the far end of this bay, you can see 4 metal plates built into the floor. That's our electronic computerized scale, which can weigh a racing vehicle to within 1 ounce. As you might guess, tech inspection is among the most stressful. To be sure it meets the minimum standard, its roof height is measured, its ground clearance is measured. Infield tickets are usually still available on race day. We are now exiting the Speedway.
Check out the road course. As you can see, I've invited a few of my closest friends over for a little 24-hour sports car. 46 miles per hour. Impressive, but still well short of the 300 mark. Finally, in 1935, if you look at just the body shapes, you'll see that a stock car and a street vehicle appear very similar. NASCAR rules require that eligible cars use the hood, roof, and deck lid as produced by the factory. Bumpers, fenders, and other pieces may be modified within strict NASCAR guidelines. Modifications from front to rear-wheel drive are also permitted. Many hours of testing are spent trying to find that delicate compromise between track gripping downforce and slippery aerodynamics. Other body modifications improve driver safety. In the event a car gets hit, turned around, and tries to get airborne, roof flaps automatically deploy, creating increased downforce, which helps keep the car from tumbling. With the roll cage and door cage, the roll cage is formed from 1 3/4-inch thick wall steel tubing. Thanks to the strength of the roll cage, this driver not only walked away, but the car was repaired and raced again. While the roll cage and door bars are important, they are merely components of a complete package, which also includes the design of the driver's seat and safety harness. Tough NASCAR regulations and constant advances in seat and harness technology have increased driver safety, while leading to improved safety features for today's street vehicles. Another familiar item, the padded dashboard, also had its origin in stock cars. Safety is also a major consideration when it comes to the design and location of the fuel tank. The fuel cell, as it's called, holds 22 gallons of high-octane gasoline in a formulation which costs about 3 times as much as the regular gas you buy at the pump. The whole thing is surrounded by 22-gauge steel welded to the floor of the trunk. The fuel flows from the tank to the cartridge through a 5/8-inch steel-braided line. Unlike most modern street vehicles, the fuel pump used on the day, the air-fuel mixture is controlled by the use of a restrictor plate between the carburetor and the intake manifold. This device, unlike regular auto tires, racing slicks have no tread. This puts more of the tire surface in contact with the racing surface, so the car can safely travel at high speeds. Tires on the NASCAR circuit are radial construction, similar to those on your street vehicles. They are made of special racing compounds which vary from track to track to meet the demands of a particular circuit. The tubeless tires now used on most street vehicles were perfected another example of how racing technology has enhanced the safety of street vehicles. Its competitors have an even playing field. With all the competing vehicles limited to the same performance standards, winning a NASCAR race ultimately depends on the skills and talents of the driver and his crew. And that's how it all comes together, folks. Thanks for joining us here at the Technology of Speed.